Hello. Good afternoon, Facebook. Good afternoon, IG. How you guys doing out there in this lovely Thursday afternoon? Elaine Proby here, CEO of PROBY'S Tax and Accounting. And today we're going to talk about something that's very exciting, I guess, and a very common. And I have a lot of clients, a lot of people that are just calling about this dependence, understanding your dependence. What determines a dependent? This is a very hot topic, and I think mostly a little bit confusing to a lot of people, simply because they're not always sure who's a dependent, how you can claim it, why what's the difference between claiming a dependent that lives with you, a dependent that doesn't live with you. Can two people claim a dependent? So we're going to attempt to clarify that for you guys today, and then stick around, because at the end of this, we're going to talk about this wonderful bill that got passed that has to do with the child tax credit. And again, I get a lot of questions on what's going on with the new child tax credit, how much that amount is, and is it for 2020 or 2021? So we'll talk about that. So I'll wrap up with that today, guys. So stick around, hit like and share on this video, get your friends on board, get your family on board, and get everyone who needs to understand the dependent, because it has a lot to do with your taxes, whether you get credits or sometimes if you owe. Hi, Inez, thanks for jumping on. Time Zero, thanks for jumping in here today. All right. Hey, T-Man, thanks for jumping on today. Okay. All right, let's start with my number one point today. Who can be a dependent? So again, very, very common question. A lot of people does not know who is a dependent or who they can claim as a dependent. First and foremost, guys, a dependent is someone who you support, right? You have to have supported this person. And it could be a child, it could be an adult, but we'll talk about that. You have to have supported them, meaning that you have had to do more than half of the support with their food, with their shelter, okay, with clothing. You have to have supported this individual for them to even be considered your dependent, okay? All right, so that's the first thing I want you guys to understand, the support portion of it, right? Then the other part of it is, if the dependent is a relative, they have to have lived with you more than half the year. They have to have lived with you more than 6 months, okay? So a qualifying relative have to have been living with you more than 6 months. You cannot claim them if they didn't live with you more than 6 months, because you will have to prove residency. That's the other part. So that's one of the most important things, guys, the support factor and the residency factor, right? The other part of that is income. They have to have made less than, say, $4,000 if you have a student dependent or whatever, and or less than $14,000 it went up to. That number keeps changing every year. Less than $14,050. So there's a qualifying income. They have to have been a relative. They have to have lived with you more than half the year. Your qualifying child, however, does not necessarily have to live with you. They could be away at college, so they don't have to necessarily live with you. However, you have been supporting them. They're dependent completely on you for their survival. And so you claim your qualifying child, even if they don't live with you, even if they're away at room and board at some college campus, even if they're gone for 4 years, it doesn't matter. You can go ahead and claim them. But any other relative, any other person that you claim must have lived with you over 6 months. All right. So I want you guys to get that clear, because this is very, very important. And a lot of people is claiming folks on their tax return. If you get questioned, if you get audited and you cannot prove, one, the relationship, you cannot prove the residency test, the income test. If you can't prove those things, guys, they will disallow those dependents, and you can lose a lot of credit and wind up owing monies that you didn't expect to. Okay, so it's very important to know who you can claim as a dependent. Now, one other thing I want to add to that, though, your dependent has to also be a U.S. citizen, a U.S. resident, a U.S. national with an alien registration card, or have to be a resident of Canada and Mexico, right? Canada and Mexico. So this, again, to determine your dependent. So again, guys, make note of this so you know who your dependents are. A lot of questions I get, a lot of clients are coming in that cannot claim this person, cannot claim that person, and they're not sure who their dependents are. And I want to point one more thing out. This is super important. Only one person can claim a dependent. Only one person. This is another confusing issue you have. Let's say you have two parents, of course, maybe they're not living together, they're filing total separate returns, but two people cannot claim the same dependent. Okay, make note of that. Two people cannot claim the same dependent. All right, so that's my first point today. So let's move on to the second point today. As far as the dependents is concerned, can they file their own tax return? All right, can my dependent file their tax return? Now, it depends on how much money, again, that dependents make. If they make less than $14,050 for 2020, because every year this number changes. If they make less than $14,050, they don't have to file their own tax return. However, if they have any type of federal withholding that came out of that check, so your dependent work maybe part-time in school or wherever, and they made $5,000 or less, they don't have to really file a tax return, but they deducted federal withholding taxes. You can file a return for that dependent. Dependent does not have to claim themselves. You still claim the dependent. They can file just to get the withholding money back. Okay, so they don't have a requirement to file, but they will be filing just so they can get the money that was withheld out of that check back. So can they file their own taxes? If they don't have a filing requirement, they don't have to file. But if there was money taken out, you want them to file so they can get that money back. All right. So this, again, very important point, guys. I get this question all the time. I get this question. I have a lot of clients now whose dependents are either in college, some of them are working part-time, and some of them want to file their own taxes. Again, you have to make sure that if they don't have the income qualification to file those tax returns, guys, and one, they don't claim themselves on those taxes, you can still claim them, they can still file, and they can get the money that was withheld back from them. All right. Hi, Cliff. Thanks for jumping on here today. All right. So that's my second point, guys. We want to make sure that if you have a dependent child in college, let's say, which most clients now, the kids are all in college. If you have a dependent child in college and they have the W-2, make sure you get those W-2 first before they go off and file those taxes. I have clients who have lost thousands of dollars in education credit, okay, or in earned income credit because the dependent wind up filing a tax return because someone told them they can, and they didn't have to file a tax return. And when that happens, you as the parent is not able to claim them on your taxes anymore. So you will lose out on the education credit, you lose out on the earned income credit. And so, you lose more money than they would be able to get back on a tax refund, right? Very, very important. So I want you guys to make sure that if you have a child in college, okay, and they say, well, I worked and I got to file my taxes, make sure you guys take those W-2s from them and see if they need to file their own taxes or you need to file for them and claim them and let them just file to get the money back. So make sure you get those W-2s from them. All right, so that's my second point today, guys. Again, today we're covering determining who your dependents are and who qualifies as a dependent and do they need to file. Third point today, we're going to talk about the child tax credit. Very, very important. This is lots of money in ongoing here, and we're going to talk about the new bill and how that changes. And so let's discuss the child tax credit for 2020. So you still get only $2,000 per child for the child tax credit for 2020. Again, I have questions. Just last night, I spoke to a client who thought that the child tax credits had been $3,000 or $3,600 because that's what they hear in the news. And I'm constantly explaining that that is the new bill, right? The new bill for 2021. The child tax credit went from $2,000 per child to $3,000 for kids between the ages of 6 and 17, and the $3,600 only goes for the kids that are under 6. Okay, so the $3,600 is for kids under 6, guys. Okay, so I want, and you guys need to really make a note of this because I'm telling you, I get so many calls on this, so many calls, and rightfully so. This is a lot of money. It's a lot of difference from what it was in 2020 that the new bill is allowing for 2021. So rightfully so, you want to call and find out, why is it I'm only getting $2,000? In some cases, some people got $1,400, which is the refundable portion of that. So again, 2020, guys, $2,000 is a child tax credit. 2021 for the new bill is $3,000. The $2,000 went up to $3,000. And they did something special. The kids under 6 is $3,600. Okay. Now, in addition to that, and this is the great news because I noticed that the complex is a part of the bill, And a lot of people are not understanding how this is going to work. What they have said in the bill is that they wanted to advance some of the child tax credit money so that the families can have some money throughout the year before the year ends, right? Normally, you only get this credit and you get this refund when you file. So what they did in this bill to help out, you know, and there's a lot of stuff to help out. What they did in this bill is, as of July, they're planning as of July to pay out half of this credit. So if you were getting $3,000 per child, they want to pay out $1,500 of this credit every month on monthly increments. And if it was $3,600 for the kids who are under 6, they want to pay out $1,800 in increments of $300 per month for the next 6 months. All right. So let me repeat that, because this is all brand new. This I've never been there. Never done this before. I mean, there are always you can get earned income credit in advance, but this is new. Let me repeat that because I know it sounds a little confusing. The new credit, child tax credit for 2021. Okay, kids from 6 and under is $3,600 for the year. That's what the credit is. They want to pay out half of that, $1,800 in a monthly increment. So they will be paying out $300 per month to the families per child for that credit, okay, throughout the rest of the year. They should start sending these payments automatically out in July. You don't have to do anything, guys. You don't have to do anything. Let your friends and family know they don't have to do anything. This money will automatically come out based on your 2020 taxes and the dependents that you have on there. So if your kid is under, your dependent, qualifying dependent child is under 6, you will get $300 per month for 6 months. And if they're from 6 to 17, you will get $250 per month for 6 months, which is half of it. And then the other half of that credit, when you file your 2021 tax return, you get the other half of that credit on that tax return. Okay. So I hope I made that clear, guys. And again, lots of questions on that one, because everyone remembers the $3,600 just last night. Again, a client asked me, do we get $3,000 per child? Do we get 36 or do we get 2,000? Right. And again, 2,000 is for 2021. Making sure that you guys understand that. So that's my 3 points today on dependent. And again, like I said, this is so common because everybody has either someone that they're taking care of, and whether it's a dependent child, an adopted child, a foster child, you know, some relative, and they need to know whether they can claim them. And this is some of the reasons that that you have where you can claim those folks so they can help you in your taxes, because you're helping them on their support. Right. So let's recap. So today, 3 points. Number 1, who can be a dependent? We talked about who can be a dependent, all the qualifying reasons why they could be a dependent. First and foremost, though, make sure that you have, if it's a qualifying relative, make sure that you have supported them more than half of their support. Whatever it takes for them to take care of themselves, you provide shelter, food, clothing, more than half of the support you have to have provided for you to be able to claim that person, okay? Second of all, can they file? If they made enough money, if they made over $14,050, yes, they can file their own return. Your dependent can file their own return. However, less than that, they don't have to. But if there was federal withholding taxes, you want them to file so they can get that money back, right? So that's the second point today. Can your dependent file their own taxes? Third point today, child tax credit. Big credit, lots of money in the hands of the family. They increase that credit from $2,000 to $3,000 and $3,600 if your child is under 6 years old. And you're getting that money in a monthly increment for 6 months, starting in July, and you don't have to do anything to get that money based on your 2020 tax return. As a matter of fact, they're encouraging you to file your 2020 tax return, guys, by May 15th. So for those of you with dependents on your taxes, please file your return by May 15th so they can use that information to start sending out these monthly increments. They want to make sure the families are getting money in their hands to assist every month before the end of the year when this credit comes back, right? So why wait till the end of the year to get all this money when you can get some of it on a monthly basis to keep things going? Hi, Lorna. Thanks for jumping on. So that's my information today, guys. Real quick on the dependence situation. Again, PROBY'S Tax and Accounting is here to assist you with all this stuff, guys. We have been helping businesses, and individuals with their personal finances and their business finances for over 35 years. If you have any questions about any of this stuff, give us a call here at 323-290-9034 or visit us, our website at PROBY'S.com. I think there is a question. Can you claim a senior that is over 55 and on Social Security? Okay, you know what? This is the most common question. Everybody get asked this one. Can you claim a senior, someone who is getting Social Security, as a dependent? And I'm glad you asked that question, Lorna. Now, because of the support factor, right? I talked about, first and foremost, you have to have supported them more than half. And I say this all the time. If that person is on a fixed income, and let's say they're only getting, I don't know, maybe $10,000 a month, guys. And let's say it takes over $20,000 to support that person between the rent and, you know, the food and clothing and everything else. And you provide $11,000, you provide $10,001, you provided more than half the support. Okay, you can claim them as a dependent, right? So let me repeat that again. The question is, can you claim them if they're on Social Security and they are a senior? If you provide more than half the support. So if they're getting $10,000 and you provided $10,001 for their food, clothing, shelter, and you know, all that other good stuff that it takes for them to survive on a monthly basis, living expenses, yes, you can claim them. Very good question. I'm glad you asked that. Get that every day. A lot of folks have, you know, seniors that they're taking care of, and they want to make sure that, you know, they're not interfering with Social Security. 1 or 2, they could claim them as a dependent. Okay. So thank you for that question, Lorna. Again, if you guys have any questions, put your questions or comments below, and we will come back through here and answer those questions for you. And again, make sure that you file your taxes by May 15th if you have dependents, so you can get that monthly payout of the child tax credit for 2021. Very important factor. And you guys, if you haven't filed your taxes, you need to get them done. Again, here at PROBY'S Tax and Accounting, everything is done virtually. You guys can go to our website, create an account, upload all your documents. Everything is electronic, no matter where you are in the United States. We can do taxes in every state, and everything is done where you DocuSign, electronically deposit, e-pay the federal government. If you owe any money to them, we take care of that as well. So with that said, guys, I'll be out of here. Thank you guys for jumping on. Thanks, Lerner. Thanks, Inez. Hey, Cliff. And Cloud for Pops, thanks for jumping on here, you guys. And I will see you guys back here next week. We will have some more updates for you. This is very important information. And again, share this video with your friends and family. And go to our YouTube channel. We got a lot of good stuff on there. You guys want to go on there and subscribe. We want to build up our YouTube channel so this great information can stay there, and you guys can always refer back to it. Okay. With that said, I want you guys to have a wonderful Thursday. Again, we're still in COVID, still trying to get over this hump, guys. I want y'all to follow instructions, and I want to make sure that you guys take care of each other and take care of yourself. All right. See you guys later.